I was muted again! I need to quit doing that during the breaks. Welcome back. You're watching another edition of 4D, Death's Daily Dose of Dota. I'm your host, Michael Deficus Plumley, and you should definitely be watching this live. The VODs on YouTube are great, but if you're live, you get to enjoy wonderful, relaxing music breaks, which I just finished. Relaxing music is very important with Dota. I get stressed out when I play. It's a competition, it's a game, it happens. And stress release is very important. We just finished up that break, and what we also finished up was the early game. For this episode, episode 10, we're watching IG versus LaiGaming. LaiGaming, I don't know how to pronounce it. But the important thing is we're focusing on iG.Chisbug's Ogre Magi support play. He's done a fair amount in these first 15 minutes. He's been roaming around with his fellow support Chuan on the Ancient Apparition, trying to get some kills, trying to get some farm, trying to get that RNG. Let's hop into the mid game and see how this game develops. When we left off, the game was very even. We see, just a quick look at the net worth, very close between the top two of IG. We have the Spectre not too far behind the PA. The last hitting pretty close as well. PA's done a great job, as Ferrari always will with that stifling dagger. But in addition to that, 70 last hits, 80 now on the Weaver, 70, 60, 60, very close spread. What we're more focused on this game is the Ogre Magi play. We see him waiting in the wings again, letting his Centaur farm. He does already have the Blink Dagger, so he can get that second stun for his team off very quickly, with Ogre Magi oftentimes initiating, or the other way around with the Blink Dagger. We see Ferrari just continuing to farm up. He has his Perseverance. Will presumably be working on the Battle Fury first to improve his farm and improve the DPS in teamfights.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's the mid game, so we are seeing our teams group up more, and it looks like the IG squad will be bringing 4 to defend this bottom tower, as Spectre might have caught on and quickly runs away, instead choosing to port mid, dodge the bolster of IG defense at the bottom tower to instead just farm up the mid, and leaving Ogre, Centaur, and Chuan on the Ancient Apparition to rotate away. Double damage rune. Presumably that will be going to Ferrari if one of his heroes scout it. Come on. Come on, A, go down the stairs. It will be Centaur instead to see it. And Ferrari will rotate. Probably the last person LaiGaming wanted to see with that double damage rune. With that crit multiplier, coup de grace, you can really crank out the damage. And speaking of damage, they're going to use it to take it to Roshan. Their 4 heroes were down at the bottom, they might as well. This is a common trade we see. Dire taking Roshan, and instead, Radiant looking to pressure a tier 2 tower. Ogre Magi might have suspected with that AoE that someone was sitting there, but it was just these ogres on the high ground. Will the trade be successful? Ice Blast coming out, hitting on... Wow, that was a 4-man Ice Blast. Pretty good job. But he doesn't have his ult stick yet. It's only 20 minutes in the game. And LaiGaming will have to disengage without trading that tier 2 for the Roshan. Quite a big advantage, I would say, swinging to IG. Battle Fury now complete. An Aegis on Phantom Assassin, and they should presumably look to push on this tier 1 that's very low. Viper cannot defend this. He might look to at least get a deny. And we see our Ogre Magi continuing to rotate. He is choosing to deny it. Shame. They could have used the extra gold. Of course, when can you not say that? And we see our 3 heroes lying in wait for the Spectre, but Spectre gets his farm and backs up. The Blink Dagger attempt by June would have been spurious at best. 1,500 gold on Ogre Magi. He may be going for Arcane Boots soon. Although Ancient Apparition already does have Arcanes out. I feel Ogre Magi is not actually the most intensive mana hero in terms of casters. His ultimate isn't even an ability, so that's free mana. All that extra DPS, the RNG DPS, doesn't cost him a thing. Just time and a bit of patience. So he may be looking to pick up a point booster for his ult stick or something else. You see 400 gold is at least enough to get off your 2 combo of spells one time around, and an additional Fire Blast if he waits the 10 seconds. The purchase has come out. It is... Alright, it is both the Tranquil Boots and a Staff of Wizardry. I like the Tranquil Boots cheaper than the Arcane Boots, and Chuan already has the Arcane Boots for a team. But it gives you a little more speed. He's up to 385. Not the fastest hero. 295 movement speed, I think, base, which is slightly below average, if you want to consider 300 average. But the Staff of Wizardry I do like. It gives him a slightly higher base mana pool, and he may turn that in to a Cyclone Stick. My favorite item to build first on him, after these early game items like Magic Stick and Urn of Shadows. We see the farm is continuing. PA having a great time this game. Ferrari doing a great job.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Phantom Assassin, one of his better carries, I feel. Chizbug at level 8, finally picking up Bloodlust. Another
Dire's
excellent buffing
bottom
ability.
tower is under attack.
That's right, not only does he have that delicious
Dire's bottom
RNG
tower has
caster
fallen.
damage,
Radiant's
he also
middle
has a
tower
buff
is under
that
attack.
does a fair amount of move speed, 10% to 16%. It's not as great as some of the other movement speed buffs. Darkseer
Dire's
is
bottom tower is
fantastic,
under attack.
max move speed for a couple of
Radiant's
seconds.
middle
But
tower is
since it
under attack.
is
Dire's
slightly lower mana,
structures are
and since it can
fortified.
be RNG multicast to people, it's balanced around that. We'll definitely see him, once he has the mana, putting that up on all his
Radiant's top tower
allies.
is under attack.
And this tier 2 will be defended by our heroes. We see Ogre Magi waiting in the wings, along with June. But so is Tidehunter with that rank 2 ultimate. His farm has slowed down a little bit. Level 10 in the off lane is only a level
Radiant's
11
top
5
tower
minutes
is
later.
under attack.
But LaiGaming choosing to back up. Once again, not claiming the tower, but doing a fair amount of damage to it. Chizbug
Radiant structures
with another
are
smoke.
fortified.
He's here with Chuan. They're looking for some kind of gank. They see Spectre farming up this lane. The tower's still here. And Rubik, we saw, porting into a lane, will quickly fall to his death, but at least gets
Radiant's top
telekinesis
tower is
off.
under attack.
And the double ports will
Radiant's
be able to
top
come in,
tower has
and
fallen.
Spectre will be chasing down the Ogre Magi. This is the one downside of Tranquil Boots. When you do get attacked, you're quickly down from 385 speed. Although the Stifling Dagger was doing a substantial reduction as well. That's Ogre Magi's first death. He was able to buy, though, the 500 gold Yule's Scepter before he died. So, not a bad death. He's only 325 away from that, in addition to the 875 mana regen piece. Mana regen is one of my more preferred items on Ogre, especially since he has an ability to increase his move speed, and he has an ability to decrease his opponents. He can really extend fights. He can, for lack of a better word, chase rather effectively. Other supports like Witch Doctor, who can dish out a lot of damage, just can't chase on their own. And of course, he's a lot more tank-oriented. The armor we already talked about, along with the HP regen. He's also up to 1100 HP, which is probably getting close to double Ancient Apparitions, 700 HP. We see him rotating, just making sure to put the buff on Phantom Assassin, increase his farm, and slightly increase his attack speed. I think it's 20 at rank 1. 20 attack speed, not too shabby. Goes up to 50, which will be good for any carry. Phantom Assassin, not as much as others, since his Phantom Strike he's going to be using every 5 seconds will nearly max out his attack speed anyway. So just following his carry, hoping to get some multicast procs there to buff himself as well. And we see Luo on the Weaver just continuing to farm up. We have a Radiance? Alright. Well, I guess he's going to fight fire with fire. Spectre working on her Radiance as well. Already has the Sacred Relic and might have just bought it at the 26-minute mark. Very respectable. Hasn't died yet. Already has a few other items under her belt. But a 4-man rotation is on the plate for IG. They want blood. They would like to blow this game open. And with the buff, here they go, going in. Counter initiation gets Ogre before he's there. And Spectre is instantly able to ult with that Radiance. That was probably unseen by IG. And a 2-for-1 trade as he runs away. It's now a 3-for-2. But that RNG helps to bring down Spectre. But what is that? Phantom Assassin falls. Viper chasing desperately. 5 seconds to get away. 335. Oh. That's not going to work. Just checking the fight recap, which is worthless this time, but you can see it on the board. It was a 4-for-4, I believe, if not 3-for-4. Quite a bit of gold going to Viper there. Blade Mail, I like it. Especially against any Radiance carrier, or something that you know is going to be coming in to hit you, like the Ice Blast that you can see from a ways away if you have vision. Likewise with the Ogre Magi, you can rest assured that once he levels up to 11 and 16, starts maxing out this multicast, you're going to have Ignite on you at all times in the fights. As this Radiance Weaver continues to push out the lane, picking up a Gem of True Sight this time, as that was actually from the Visage, who is working on presumably the mech for his team. Ult stick also on Viper, that's going to be a big deal. Just making sure he can get more than one Viper strike off in the fight, increasing the range. They're going in on Spectre. The initiation hoof stomp double edge into the Weaver Radiance, claiming the kill there. We see 140 damage coming out, but more importantly the Fire Blast on Ogre Magi. The 800 damage combo by Centaur. He is really coming into his own at this stage of the game. Level 11, where he can have maxed out hoof stomp, double edge, and Stampede's rank 2, that helps as well. Our offlaner and 2 supports just farming together in the jungle. They have Luo pushing out the lane, protecting them. They're just getting further ahead. That Spectre kill was quite big though, allowing their position 1 carry Ferrari to continue farming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The tower is getting pushed out, but Ferrari's here. There's no backup. It's just the lane of creeps. We see the Bloodlust buff already coming out. Multiple people. Really would like to get his level 11 though, just further on the RNG path that really makes Ogre Magi shine. Here's a smoke gank into a Ravage, catching both of our supports.
I bring
and the counter initiation by Ferrari, maybe a little late. He does have the Basher and a full charge BKB. He's not sure who to go on. They will pick the Viper.
We have failed to win.
But instead, Spectre joins again and they turn. And the last hero falls. Weaver, with his Shikuchi, able to get out on his own, saves the Gem of True Sight, but that's a 4 for nil. Substantial damage coming out from that Spectre there. You see clearly more damage than anyone else. Even the PA with her very large crits. That Radiance Haunt really can just rack up the damage if they're stacked up. And quite a significant XP for all our heroes. And a fair setback for the IG team. Ogre Magi is still not level 11. But he has rank 4 Ignite, and it is cast in a small AoE, so he could push out this lane if he'd like. Instead, he'll leave the farm to Weaver. As we see Ogre Magi still about 700 away from completing that Yule Stick. I'm glad he is pursuing that, though, instead of the Aghanim Scepter. Although it's a fun upgrade to have, you'll be the rare hero with 2 stuns on very low cooldowns. He would be farming for half the game. Once again, we saw the Ignite go out in an AoE, and he's just checking outside the base to see, are the heroes coming, or was that just the creeps on the high ground?
Dire's top tap.
Chuan coming in with the medallion to help hasten the fall of the second Roshan as Ogre Magi bottles an invisibility rune.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He's level 11 now. We see the potential for a 3x multi,
Dire's
as well as a
top
reduced
tower is
cast
under
time
attack.
on Fire Blast. It used to be 12 seconds, it's now down to 8.
Top tower has fallen.
That top tower did fall in retaliation. And the rest of LaiGaming porting out. But not Rubik, though. That was a shame. We're actually going to back that up. I love seeing Rubik get blown up by a Phantom Assassin. The rest of the team's retreating here. But the Shikuchi comes out on Rubik. The Fire Blast triggers. Weaver pursues, and that was actually a kill to Weaver. Just looking at the fight recap. Ogre Magi coming in with the clutch stun, although there was also a Stampede and Hoof Stomp. The majority of the damage coming out of that Weaver. As he continues to push the lane with his Radiance, now a BKB, still the casual Vitality booster, he might turn that into a Heart of Tarask soon. As Ogre Magi uses his Invis rune, he swung by the Secret Shop to pick up that Void Stone, now has a significant amount more of mana regen. I'm actually going to hop back to show you the difference. This is one of my first items I'll pick up on him. What was 3.1 damage per second, or mana per second, is now 5.1, and an additional 2 per second. That means each minute he's getting an additional 120 mana, which is easily an extra ability.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Almost 145 for that Fire Blast. It scales up pretty quickly. Once he
Radiant's
completes
top
the Yule
tower is
Scepter,
under
it will
attack.
be even more. We see Invictus Gaming just lying in wait here as they push out this tier 2 tower. Weaver sieging with his Radiance, and the Germinate
Radiant's
attack
top tower is
doing
under
work.
attack. Radiant's
Meanwhile, Spectre
structures are
farming up the
fortified.
opposing lane,
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
and we see a rotation coming out from Tidehunter. But
A lucky find.
Phantom
Out
Assassin,
of the veil.
we can go back to the fight recap there. Only 900 damage done when he's not using his ultimate. Spectre, not that great one-on-one, even though he has the Desolate. In a one-on-one matchup against Phantom Assassin, those crits are just going to be huge. And with a Skull Basher proc, that will quickly spell the end for our Spectre. But it's only his 3rd death of the game, and he was able to purchase a Yasha before he died. All is not lost. Did lose some gold, though. And we see our IG team continuing to rotate. Rotating out to this bottom lane. This Phantom Assassin is getting quite big. Aegis will be expiring in a few minutes, but having already claimed a kill on Spectre, they are probably starting to
Radiant's
amass a
bottom
lead.
tower is under attack.
Not very significant, about 1,500. That one team fight really set them back. But they know what they're up against with Spectre. They need to spread out, need to not get jumped on, like Rubik was able to do with his Invisibility Rune and Smoke of Deceit. Other than that, though, it's a very even game, 17 kills to 15. Ogre Magi has just completed his Yule Scepter of Divinity, and he's up to 6.1 mana per second. You can see almost it just slowly filling up there. He's been rotating the whole game, but now with his first big mana regen item out, he can continue to rotate, limit the time he goes back to base, and still ensure that he has enough mana to do a full combo of spells. The levels still dead even for our 4 supports across the 2 teams. Although Ferrari almost doubling them on levels, not the whole story for Ogre Magi. He's here to buff with Bloodlust his team. He's here to get the stuns off, the ignites, to ensure that the fights can go on long enough for these 4.5x crits to come out for Phantom Assassin. As they just lie in wait, sitting back at the tier 2 tower. They might have thought that they were getting flanked here since the majority of the heroes were missing, but instead, LaiGaming is just choosing to push out this top lane. Spectre farming up. Radiance and Yasha online. 441 move speed. He's able to pursue a fair amount as well. And now that he reveals himself top lane, and a Heart of Tarask is picked up on that Weaver, he's up to 2,500 HP. We see a smoke come out, being bought by Chuan. It's on the courier. And we should be looking for a very aggressive fight coming up imminently. Our heroes are not smoked. The telekinesis goes off along with the ultimate on Tidehunter. He has a refresher but not enough mana for the second. Ravage. He's very close. As we see Ogre Magi not so close into the fight. Ferrari, his Aegis has expired at a very dubious time, and the damage being poured into Ogre Magi. The Yule Scepter will not save him here. As June, unable to get his combo of spells off either. And we see once again, grouped up fights equal a ton of damage for that Spectre. Topping the charts, almost 3,000 damage. Although we did see a double cast coming out,
tower is under attack.
as well as an Ice Blast. It's still a 3-for-0. And the tier 3 towers are starting to be sieged.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Several heroes are down. Ferrari was able to escape there. Ancient Apparition looking just to force back our heroes with several Ice Vortexes. Very low cooldown, 4 seconds and only 110 mana. The trade-off, of course, though, it doesn't do damage.
Under attack.
That's up to our heroes like Phantom Assassin and our Ogre Magi. Along with this Radiance Weaver. Well, at least it does give the 65 damage. But we'll see if it does pay off in this game. The magic damage is nice. It is going to be negating a lot of the itemization that Visage has in armor, as well as Tidehunter in his damage reduction. Not sure if Radiance is negated by Kraken Shell. I doubt it is. Physical damage, yep. So that'll go through that as well. But with all our heroes back up, we see the grouping together. IG unsure to push out or not. Ferrari will lead the way to his tier 2 tower and begin pushing out this lane. Weaver, already down in the bottom lane, pushing that out. He's up to level 19. Our heroes expending another smoke. Another smoke, rather. They're moving together.
This should make my life
Hoping to
easier.
catch someone out. Will it be the Viper? The smoke is triggered, but Viper quickly backs up. Might have just been getting an item from the courier, but a fortuitous delivery nonetheless.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
271 move speed with that Spectral Dagger. It will force Weaver back. And IG will be content with just farming up the jungle. We see our Ogre Magi continuing to roam. Still at full mana,
This should
with the
make
help
my
of that
life
Yule
easier.
Scepter of Divinity. Rank 2, Ice Blast coming out as well. And we see the next point of contention, as that Viper Illusion and the Ice Vortex indicated will be the Roshan. He's not up yet. Probably in the next minute or so. Abyssal Blade coming out for our Phantom Assassin, but at only 1800 HP. We will have to see if the Spectre AoE is too much to handle. You can see once again those large dips and changes in net worth. The 4-0 team fights that happened now twice for LaiGaming. IG will have to answer that if they wish to win this game. And speaking of 4-0 team fights, we might have another coming up at the contention of this Tier 2 bottom.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The illusions are coming
Dire's
out,
bottom tower is under attack.
and the tower will fall very
Radiant
quickly.
structures are
Weaver choosing this
fortified.
time to just push out the lane. He would like to get a little more damage and push down that tower, but Rubik is here. He's not sure who else is. He'll be forced back. That Ogre Magi, or Frost Mage as it's called. Not bad. 8 armor bonus. It's about a 35% reduction. You'll see he's already up to 63% reduction. Add in the evasion. He is quite a formidable carry. Some dewarding going off as Ogre Magi continuing to support, just making sure Bloodlust is up on his heroes. He has the mana regen for it now. Just ensuring that his heroes can travel that much faster, potentially get closer in the team fights and secure a kill. But Spectre, the Haunt is off of cooldown. He has a Manta now, in addition to a Reaver. Probably look to pick up a Heart of Tarask, much like our Weaver has. And the Ogre Magi just continuing to rotate, making sure his Phantom Assassin has his buffs needed. And he's looking for Roshan, putting down a preemptive Sentry Ward. Everybody's above 400 movement speed, and with the plus 40 provided by Yule's Scepter and the buff, Ogre Magi up at 476 movement speed, assuming a fight is not
Dire's
occurring.
middle
But a
tower
fight is about to
under
happen.
attack.
It's under the tier 2. Phantom Assassin blinks in preemptively, and that is a double Ravage, claiming a 3-for-nothing kill. Will it be 4? They're pouring into Weaver. He's attempting Shikushi away.
Radiant's courier has
That
been
time lapse
killed.
even throwing me
Dire's middle
off the
tower
mark,
is under
but they're
attack.
pursuing. They want this kill on the Weaver. He's low, 250 HP.
Shuttle and loom, I weave your doom.
The Spectre Radiance will be enough to claim it. Once again, the story tells the tale at this fight recap.
Dire's
You see
structures
the
are
most damage being
fortified.
done by that Spectre. A large amount of Radiance damage with the assistance of Haunt. And that Ogre Magi
Dire's middle tower
completely
has
caught
fallen.
out that game. In that particular
Dire's
fight,
middle
rather.
tower is under
He delivered
attack.
0 damage. Other than a Bloodlust, he was not able to contribute. And we're going to have to see several buybacks coming out from our IG squad. They are quickly surrendering any net worth lead that they had. But it will at least force LaiGaming back.
Illusion.
Stampede coming out. They'd like to pursue on Visage. one counter kill in exchange for all those buybacks. Not exactly what they have in mind, but they might not even get that. As Rubik is able to Shikuchi away, the Visage kill will be secured. But looking at that gold graph, we can see it. And also the difference in gold earned, not as significant, but once you factor in the buybacks, LaiGaming can be very happy with that. That's 3 fights in a row that they've won. And the kill count is starting to tell the tale. And with that, we're going to consider that the end of the mid-game. With this Roshan with cheese coming up, we are going to take a break. As I mentioned, that's what I would consider the end of the mid-game. We've seen 2 attempts at the Tier 3 tower by LaiGaming. The third Rosh is coming at the past the 40-minute mark. Our heroes are extremely farmed. There's multiple Radiances. There's multiple Hearts of Tarasques now. Will our Phantom Assassin be able to cleave and just blow up the entire LaiGaming team, which he's not been able to do yet? Will Ogre Magi do the RNGesus and do some burst damage of his own? Or will this Spectre Haunt Radiance be too much for the closely grouped IG squad to handle? Stay tuned for the conclusion to this episode of 4D after this relaxing music break. Till then.